Hey everyone, I got an unexpected hour of babysitting from my son, who took his brother out to play some video games in his studio, so I get to do a little extra painting. So I'm going to put some red on Priscilla. Doesn't she just have the prettiest little face? I got my red brush bucket, and I'm just going to give her some of this color. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of a, it's a pink, kind of a dusty pink. I think I'm just gonna go around and I'm gonna do the first layer on her lips. I want her to have kind of dolly coloring. I say this now, but as I go, things may change. That's how it usually works for me. I just kind of go with the flow. I'm not too hung up on it. You know, whatever happens, happens. And I know that looks harsh, but stay with me here. I'm going to take most of that off. I just kind of want it to stain that area around her eyes. I'm not going to just use this pink. I'm going to use other colors too, and I don't want a solid line there. I want to mute that a little bit. So I have 2 pies in the oven. I went out and started weeding my garden beds, and I noticed that for some reason, this is the year for my rhubarb. I just don't know what happened. It just sort of took off like crazy. And the leaves are huge. It looks like a dinosaur plant. I love it. And so I pulled off some rhubarb, and I thought, I've got some green apples, and I have half a container of strawberries, a few raspberries, and so I made a standard pie crust. I only had like 2 pie crusts, one of those pie crust packages with 2. And so on the bottom, I put a regular pie crust, and then on the top I did a crumble, and it's in the oven and I can smell it. It smells good. I'm putting the paint on thick with a wet brush, and then I'm using a dry brush to kind of push the paint into the vinyl a little bit. And then I'll use my sponge to take off any excess. So yeah, with the other pie crust, I had a bunch of frozen blueberries because, like, before all this thing started, I bought this huge container of blueberries, and I knew we weren't going to eat them all, so I froze them, and I had those, and so I made a blueberry galette, and that's like when you get the pie crust, and then you fill it up with all the berries and the sugar and the flour and the butter, and then you just kind of fold the pie crust around it like a little envelope, and you bake it. And usually we eat that with some vanilla ice cream, which we don't have, but we do have some leftover whipped cream that I made from Easter, so that'll be good. I'm kind of excited. I think we'll just have pie for dinner. Why not? It's fruit. It's one of the healthier food group parts. They smell so good. I can't wait. And we had a really warm day here in California. It was really warm. We went for a walk and I was actually overheated. I don't know where that came from. I was so hoping for warm days, and we finally got one. And no, I didn't do photography. I suck. I really need to do it. So lazy, I swear. I'm procrastinating. And I really want those babies to, you know, find a home. If they're going to make somebody happy, I want to make somebody happy. Yeah, this is a pretty color combination. I like it. My youngest son and I went for a little walk today. We just walked all around the neighborhood. And on our way back, I said, how long do you think we walked? And he said, I don't know. And he says, how far do you think we walked? And I said, oh, I think we probably did like 1.5 miles. And then we checked my phone. I have that little app that tells you how far you walked. And we walked like almost 3 miles. it didn't feel like it at all. It felt so good. I was such a good mood when we got back. Everyone here is in a really good mood. We all got a little, my daughter went hiking. My older son found, some way to get some kind of a workout that he needed. He looked it up and he felt really good. And the weather, I think, has a lot to do with it. When the sun comes out, everybody feels so happy. It really feels like spring today here. So there she is. That's just a first layer of pink. And, I'll build on that. Now I'm going to go a little bit bolder with a darker color and do some down and dirty creasing here. And then it's almost like I'm on Hawaiian time. I'm just like moving slow and not worrying about too much. It's nice. I called one of my girlfriends today. She's having a hard time. She's stuck at home with 3 kids who have a lot of energy. Her kids are super smart and super creative and have a ton of energy. And there's 3 of them, so, they kind of outnumber her. And she is just burned out. I don't know if my talking to her helped her or made it worse. I felt so bad. I will say it made it better for me because I thought things were kind of crazy around here, and oh no, I've only got 1 little at home. The rest of the kids are big. I don't know about you guys or how old you are, but I came from that generation that in the summertime when we were home from school, my mom locked us outside. She gave us a bowl of cereal and said, "See you later." And she didn't want us in the house making noise or messing things up or bothering her. And it was like that for the rest of my friends too. Their parents just kind of said, "Go find something to do." And we just kind of were like little savages. We were just all over the neighborhood, playing in everybody's yards, stealing lemons off the neighbor's tree. That's just how it was back then. I don't romanticize it because I think that I was one of those kids who I would have rather have been in the house reading, and I think I would have liked more attention from my parents. They're kind of an oddball story. They're very strange. My biological parents were very odd people. I think we all think our parents are a little bit odd, but trust me when I tell you they were very odd people. I think, though, looking back, I probably would have scared the hell out of myself had I been my parent, but no, maybe not. I'm just kind of a loud parent. I'm not very calm. I'm just kind of all out there. I was just kind of raised that way. Speak your mind. Say what you need. Don't beat around the bush. This baby's going to be so pretty. I can tell already. If I don't mess it up, it's going to be so pretty. Just very pale and pink. And a long time ago, I think I've talked about this before, I challenged myself to do a baby with only using 3 colors. I used black, white, and red. And I made a Snow White. And she turned out really cute. And it was so much fun because you really, really depend on shading and blending colors. My older daughter always tells me I had this really cool childhood. I think I had a really cool childhood. All the times I think I may have scarred her or ruined her. I was like a young mom when I had my older kids, super young mom. And I remember being like in my 20s, and my husband and I were separated and on our way to getting a divorce. I was just still really young. I was driving around in my little Jeep with my 2 little girls, playing all kinds of crazy music and acting silly. It wasn't very mommy-like. Wasn't my proudest parenting moment in my life, but she seems to think it was really a fun time, a magical time, and she misses it. But I have to say, I really did love it when it was just me and my girls. We just had this really cool vibe, the three of us. Our house was very female. Everything was the way we wanted it, and I don't know, I really liked it. We were so broke. Being a single mom is not pretty when you're young and still in school and trying to work, and it was just a crazy time. I learned a lot, and I appreciate the time I had with my girls. It was nice. I mean, I feel, when I look back, it was like a total parent fail, but I think that we had a lot of fun, a lot of silly things. We were living in Washington State, and it was freezing cold, and Safeway used to sell Chinese food then, and it was cheap, and so we used to walk over to Safeway and get Chinese food and take a big hot bubble bath and just snuggle in bed and watch videos we rented until we fell asleep. That was our big Friday night. It's such a simple thing, but it was a good time. But you know, I wasn't making them do their homework, and I don't know, I just wasn't taking things seriously. I was just all over the place, but at that time, it was a really confusing time for me. I think we all have those times in our life that we look back when it was almost like we were somebody else. You kind of don't recognize that person. But all your experiences add up to something really amazing, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm over-romanticizing it. And there's some pink on her. I think that looks really cute. I'm going to do a little bit of mottled, a little bit of this deeper pink around her eyes and inside here, just to kind of shade it a bit. And again, it seems very, very bold, but we still have a lot of layers to go, and so this will mellow out. I think the trick with painting is just to be patient with the layers and just kind of let them create their own little bit of magic. I mean, you're in charge of some of that, but some of that you just kind of have to let it be. It is kind of pinky. I have a really red one that I use a lot for darker babies, but she's got a lot of pink and she's super pale. Get the excess off. On a little bit darker than I want, but I also know it's going to lighten up when it dries. And I model not just for, you know, that texture, that under the skin cold baby texture, but also because some places there's paint, some places there is not. Some places the yellow will land on the red spots and the blue and the yellow will mix, and you know, different combinations, and they create different flavors. So there is a baby with reds and a little bit of blue, but what happens? She's super, super pale and pink and fairy-esque, but I kind of like it. Alrighty, I'll be back tomorrow with some more reds.